Even if you're happily married today, there's something every government employee needs to understand. Divorce can put your pension benefits on limbo for more than a year. See, I've been seeing cases where members have been leaving and it's 12, 18 months or longer that they're waiting desperately for their funds right at a time when they're under a lot of pressure. And the hardest part is this isn't just about the delay, it's also about the uncertainty. My name is Devon Naika, and I'm a retire vs. resign specialist for government employees, as well as the author of What They Don't Want You to Know About Retiring or Resigning from Government. In today's video, I want to help you to understand what exactly transpires around the divorce itself, 5 elements that you should be made aware of, and how you can take advantage of this or help make the situation to be better. Divorce is already one of the most emotionally and financially draining experiences that anyone can go through. And the rising costs, legal fees, kids, uncertainties, you can imagine what this does to a member. The reality is many government employees are facing these right now. So let me walk you again through areas that I believe could help to avoid those delays, help you to be a bit more in control, and also protect yourself from these life-altering assumptions. The first thing that I want to share with you today is around the clean break principle. Now, in the past, the pensions were adjusted a bit later on. Let me explain what I mean. The pension fund was basically creating a formula, had a system in place where they would make adjustments. Let's assume that your spouse had taken a certain portion out of your pension benefits. You would not see the impact straight away, meaning you would still have noticed that your pension value was growing as per normal, right? Even though your spouse would have taken off a certain benefit. Now, what since transpired a few years back is they introduced what's called, well, not they as the pension fund, but South Africa's introduced what's called the clean break principle, which means your spouse can now have access to the benefits virtually immediately. Even if you are before 55 or your spouse is before 55, not even at retirement age, but the clean break principle allows your spouse to have access to that portion straight away. Now, why is it important for you? Because when you're looking at your statement, it's important to ensure that whatever value had needed to have been deducted, you can see that reflecting from your pension statement. Sometimes members don't have a look at that, they don't pay attention to it, and it creates a problem at a later stage. It's also important for you to understand how the clean break principle works. Right? So from a tax perspective, it's your spouse that needs to be taxed on that money, not you. So assume your spouse is taking out 500,000 or a million, just as an example, then the tax relating to that would need to be paid by your spouse. Important for you to know because you don't want to fall into a trap where you are having to pay that tax as well. So understand that, one, you want to make sure that the clean break principle is actually applying. 2, it should be taxed from your spouse's perspective, not yours. And 3, on your statement, it's reflected as that, right? The pension fund has access to information. So all 3 points which are rolled up into you on one. Second thing I want to share with you today is you have to make sure that the legal department, that means the pension fund's legal department, is fully aware of this. Now, every single divorce-related matter pension claim, it goes via the legal department. They calculate and they verify, and without a decree, it takes a lot longer, right? Because they're now having to wait for that. So expect that there's going to be longer delays. This is why I put this as the second thing for you to know, because it is important for you to understand that even at the time that you are processing an exit, whether it is via retirement or resignation, although you might have submitted your documents beforehand, it's still important for you to understand all of your paperwork flows via the legal department. It's a separate section, nothing for you to do, but you want to make sure that, again, you are properly prepared for the delay. Sometimes we're dealing with a situation at this present moment where a member had been through a divorce. There was also a maintenance order, but the member did not have the information on hand to supply to the pension fund. Now, it caused a significant delay because now the legal department could not finalize the payment. They needed to make certain that they had something in writing from the court in order to know exactly how much needed to be paid towards the divorce benefit. So it became a bit complicated. It was very, very frustrating for this member. Lots of trips back and forth to the court, and it's also a long gap between when the divorce had taken place. So it became frustrating. Also very emotionally draining because, as I mentioned, divorce in itself is highly challenging. It's one of the most emotionally draining situations for us. And it was almost watching this member relive that experience. So all of this can be avoided if you understand that the legal department is going to call for this information upfront, and you are then prepared for your items. Now, third thing that I want to share is verification even without the splits. Now, I've had many members reach out to me to say, hey, Devon, look, I've been for this divorce, and my spouse and I have taken an agreement that we each kept our benefits, right? It could be that maybe your spouse is keeping some assets and your pension benefits are intact, or you and your spouse have pension benefits, whether your spouse is in government or not, and you guys take a decision, hey, we're not affecting each of our pension benefits, it's remaining the same. Now, whatever the case is, I've had members reaching out to me to say, hey, listen, everything is all clear in terms of the divorce decree. We each keep our own benefits. Now, I still want you to be aware that because a divorce has taken place, it's still essential for you to inform the legal department, meaning they still need to understand what actually took place. From a legal perspective, they also have a duty and a responsibility. Now, I want to impress upon you, please, it can be very frustrating that these delays kick in. But if you look at it from the other side, all that they're looking to do is to protect you. They're wanting to do what's right. We can't have a situation where something is done wrong within the fund, and then at a later stage, they're trying to rectify it. So it's better to have these things resolved in the beginning. So keep in mind, although you might have reached a situation where you and your spouse have decided, hey, look, we're keeping each other's benefits, still, that needs to be filtered through to the legal department. The legal department's got to understand this, and they need to be able to see that reflecting in the divorce decree. Without that, it's just going to create unnecessary delays for you, which is why my fourth thing that I want to share with you today is critically important for you to ensure that all of your paperwork, especially things like a maintenance order or divorce decree, is ready and available for submission. If there are any missing documents, that could cause delays with regards to your payout. So let's assume that you are planning your exit either by a retirement or a resignation. In your pack of documents that you're handing through to your HR, whatever those documents are, you still should include things like the divorce decree, if there's a maintenance order, whatever supporting documents. And why this is beneficial is eventually when it flows through the legal department, if they didn't have sight of these documents previously, it's going to create a delay. So by you making sure you're putting your copy of your documents in advance, we don't have any control over the pension fund and how long they may take, but you are being proactive because now you have that on hand. It avoids a situation where, as I've shared with you now, we are dealing with a member where it wasn't available and now the member is having to go back to court. We're already over 6 months down the line from when the member had left with no certainty as to when this member is getting paid. So to avoid that stress, that frustration, better for you to have your documents submitted upfront, hand it in with your HR, make sure that these things are vetted so that the process then just moves along a lot more smoothly. Now, the responsibility is, or the next point that I will share with you, which is the fifth one, is divorce means that you now have an extra responsibility in terms of your planning. So without a divorce, the planning could be relatively straightforward because you know the benefits that you have inside of your pool are the benefits you're going to be receiving. With a divorce, you now want to start to have a look at, hey, is it enough money for you to live comfortably? Has the benefit actually been adjusted? Are the figures on your pension statement correct? Is that exactly what you're going to be receiving? So you want to check those things up front. Then you want to make certain what you have is enough for you to live comfortably. And how you would do this, we would have to see your entire situation. Meaning you have some money that's saved in the pension fund, but perhaps you have some other money that's sitting in a bank savings or an investment. We need to have a look at that. Maybe you might have a retirement annuity. We then have to consider that as well. So we want to look at your situation holistically so that we have an idea, again, depending on the route that you're taking, whether it's retirement or resignation, but you're making the right decision. Keep in mind, as you already know, you've only got one chance to do this. So why not take the time, make sure that you plan properly and have everything run smoothly and efficiently. Now, I want to invite you, if you found this video to be helpful, please click on the link to subscribe to the channel because that allows the channel to grow and expand. And there are many members out there who've been through divorce or some members who are going through divorce right now. If you happen to know them, I encourage you to share this video so that they're able to be empowered. The more that we can help government employees understand these options, the better it is going to be for all members including yourself. If you've not already done so, please hit the thumbs up button so I know that the video has been helpful for you. And if there's one thing that I want you to take away from today's video, it is that sometimes in life things happen to us. You might not have planned for a divorce to happen. I mean, nobody does, right? But when that takes place, or if it takes place, touch wood, or if it's already taken place, it doesn't mean that it's the end of the world and there's no way for us to be able to find some type of a way forward. We've developed processes within us to help smooth everything that's running so that we know it's working in a systematic way. And once you follow those processes, even with a divorce, you can help make sure that your funds are getting paid out to you in the shortest, quickest possible time. I'll catch you in the next video.